Hey, what's up guys? ChessNerdBird here with another video. Today is day 16 of our 100 Days of Chess Challenge, and we are doing 30 minutes of tactics every single day for 100 days. So that is the 100 Days of Chess Challenge. We are here. It's an incredible day, world that we live in. I got to play Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura in a bullet game. So 1 minute. 1 minute per side for those that don't know what a bullet game is, and I lost. Obviously, he's number 18 in the world, so there's no chance I was going to win. But I was happy because I did well. We kept a relatively close game. Like I was only down a pawn until pretty much the end game, and then it just blundered away. But like even the computer said it was a relatively close game, which it's a bullet game, so nothing like I'm excited about or felt like I even had a chance, but just super awesome. I do feel like the tactics every single day is helping because it's keeping my mind sharp, and I'm seeing things pretty quickly. And yeah, so anyway, let's just jump into it. We're going to do our tactics, right? So we're just going to do this. You guys aren't here, ladies aren't here to listen to me rant on about playing chess. You're here to see me solve some puzzles. So here we are. All right. What is going on here? So rook just moved here to guard the knight. If I take it, it's with check. If like none of this is good. Like I want to be able to play d7. I feel like I should be able to play d7 because that would win the piece. But the queen takes, and I still can't even take the knight or the rook. Like even after I trade, I can't do that because the queen comes back and takes. But maybe I play bishop takes d5 check. No matter how black recaptures, then I can play rook c1. What do we think of that? Well, maybe that's not so good either, right? Like after but that could work actually. Yeah, bishop takes. Like the queen's not going to take, so now we'll just take the bishop. So the rook would take, and then rook c1, and I'm going to win this bishop. There's no way I'm not going to win the bishop because this rook can't come back and guard it because I'll take with the pawn, or I'll even take with the rook actually. Yeah, that actually looks good. I'll take with check, rook takes, and now rook c1. Now the question is, do I take with the rook or do I take with the queen? If I take with the queen, we trade out queens and then rook takes, I've got to worry about these two pawns here. If I take back with the rook though, I think take back with the rook. Yep. Take back with the rook is then when the rook takes this, I can take this pawn. Now I have to worry about this one outside pass pawn. So that was the reason why I took the rook that way. Okay, so check. If the king moves, I can move out or I can move over. I think if I go h6, I just end up getting like a perpetual. Yeah, we get into a perpetual because I can't ever block because I'll lose a rook. But if I go king f7, I think I lose this rook. Oh, it's not a perpetual. King h6. Rook b6, king h5, rook to b5, and then rook or king h4. Actually, Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just the answer. Like, I can't go rook g7 because rook takes g7, check, and I'm going to lose everything. Yeah, and I can't. If I go king f7, I lose a rook. So king h6 is the only move that actually doesn't just lose any. Well, it does lose that material. Wait, what? Okay, I'm missing something here. Oh, I'm going for the stalemate. Okay, rook a7 and then rook g7. And I can I literally do this? Literally? It's not a stalemate now. If I go rook f7, king takes, it's not a stalemate. Oh, I just take the rook. Huh. Because black couldn't take the rook, so the king moves, and then yeah. All right, so although we haven't gotten one wrong yet, like I still feel like I'm playing pretty quickly, playing pretty fast, and I'm super tired, but I'm also like super energized right now, playing while I record this video. So I do feel like that's impacting me in some ways as well. Let's see here, check. We go bishop c4 check. Let's first look at and see, like, can the king move? So yeah, the king could move. So that's one thing that I do. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure if it's like a good thing or not, but I do always look for the king right away to see if the king can move. So the king can go to g2. And so when I look at moves like that, the reason I do that is I see if any checks could draw the king to a square that maybe, like, I could attack like bishop c4, king g2, and then rook takes d2 would be checkmate. Ugh. And so I look at that because if you can checkmate the king, then that's the, I mean, that is the best you can do. Like you can't get any better than checkmating the king, and so that's why I look at those moves. But after bishop c4, now we look at, okay, well, obviously the king won't move because of king g2 and rook takes d2. Okay, so the king won't do that. So white's not going to play that move. So what could white play? Well, white could play knight d4. That's a possibility. But again, I think we just have rook takes. Whether we're threatening all that anyway. But instead, maybe d4. Okay, d4, bishop takes d4 check. Would be a move. That is a possibility. The other idea I see here is maybe bishop e4 or bishop e5. So it's not actually a check, but that might be too slow because after bishop takes f3, we do have to be worried about that, I think. So yeah, maybe the bishop checks is actually the best here. Bishop check. If pawn up, maybe I have. Oh no, I don't have rook e8 though. Rook e8, that's covered. Yeah, that's covered. That's covered. That's covered. Of course, I could also take the rook. Can also just take the rook on h1. Is also a possibility. I mean, that's the most tempting right now because then I'll be able to full rook actually. Yeah, it's really weird. Bishop c4. This one is really stopping me here. Because rook take h1, like I don't see anything really bad about that other than, I mean, I'm down. I'm not even down. I'm actually going to be up material there. Why does that not work? Rook takes h1. Knight takes d6, and I can't play rook takes d6 because rook b8 check. Alright, and of course there is the bishop takes g3, but then knight takes g3, and I don't even win the rook. Yeah, man, this pawn, let me tell you, this pawn is rather annoying. I do have bishop to c4, pawn d4, rook takes. It's not gonna be checkmate though. Wait, rook takes. Hold up. Knight takes. Bishop takes check. King g2. King g2. Rook e2. King f1, and then rook. What? And then rook f2 is checkmate. Bishop c4 check. Pawn up. Rook takes. I think the point is that if this rook like I play rook takes here, and now rook takes on e1. Hold on. Oh my goodness. All right, bishop c4, or bishop c5. I've been saying bishop c4 the whole time. Bishop c5, d4, rook takes, and then even if rook and b1 check, I've got rook d1 or d8, which will block, but also be a check. So we'll actually end up winning material. Bishop c4 looks so good. Yeah, bishop c4. Yeah, rook takes. Of course, the one doggone line I didn't look at, huh? But I don't think that matters. I don't think that matters. Yeah, I don't think that matters. I simply play. Yeah, I just play down here, protect my rook, and now we can just play rook d2, rook d2, bishop blocks, and then yeah, we're just gonna win. Nice. That one was rated over 2300, and we solved that one as well. We're doing fairly well here. Bishop takes, queen takes, and queen takes. That's a check. That's not what we want. We don't want. Be able to take with check. If I take the rook check, well, hold on, I'm trying to think here. Actually, bishop takes, king c8. King c8. Riddle me that. Riddle me that. The queen's under attack, the rook's under attack. Riddle me that. There's no checks. And that back rank is looking super, super weak after king c8. After a move like king c8, it looks not so hot. Bishop takes, king c8. I mean, I guess the only move that I would really know that like white could play would be go back queen b2. No, not queen b2 because of rook d1 check. That wins the queen because of rook d1, rook takes d1, queen takes b2. So queen to a1 would have to be the move. Yeah, it had to be queen a1. Yeah, that would just have to be a queen a1. Because now rook d1 doesn't work because rook takes d1, it still guards that queen. Oh, here's a good idea. Rook b1, or rook b8. I'm sorry, rook b8. Does rook b8 work? Rook b8, and I mean, it does look pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to win the queen there. I don't even see a check for my opponent. Because, yeah, it had to be queen takes, rook takes, but then... Yeah, I don't even see anything that works for my opponent. So yeah, rook b8. Back rank is weak, so always try to find a way if you can. Just take advantage of that. Okay, simply I'd like to play a rook to the third. If I play rook c3, what about king f4? Pawn may or may not promote. If I go rook f3, goes either to g4 or g3, probably g3. Alright, this one is rather tricky here, because I'm not sure of the pattern. Just does not look familiar to me. Okay, rook c3, and then if king f4, then I'll play rook c to f3, check. Mate. So the king can't go to f4. So the king would come to g2 more than likely. I don't think that's the right move. Oh, rook c3 and then sliding it over to g3. Rook c3, king f2. I think that's it. Rook c3, king f2. Yeah, like rook c3. Yeah, I can't pull this rook off of the first rank. So it has to guard against queening. I mean, that's what I feel like anyway. That would need to guard against queening. Rook c3, rook f4, and then I have rook 1 to g3 with rook f3 coming. That's unstoppable. What, rook f3, king f2, and then rook to e3? Does that do anything though? I don't think that does anything. We gotta worry about this rook. Yeah, rook c3. I'm really at a loss here. After king f2. I don't know what I'm missing. King f2. Yeah, I'm just gonna play rook c3. That's wrong. Alright, that's not right. That's not right. Okay, none of these are right. Alright, let's just look at the hint. Oh, it's the same thing as if you use the king f4. You just play rook g2, you can't stop rook f2, which is the same concept I was saying if I went rook c3, king f4, and then rook g3. The same, it's the same. I can't believe I did not see it just in that. Oh, those are the worst. When you see a pattern, but you can't see that pattern in a different part of the board. That is extremely frustrating to me. Extremely frustrating. All right, queen h2 is almost checkmate, but black's king can, or white's king can escape to f2, and so that's not checkmate. I can't even take the knight. There's too many pieces actually protecting the knight. I could play bishop h6. No, I can't, because the queen takes g6. I don't even have queen e1 because the rook takes. I don't even have rook takes f3 because the knight could actually take instead. Because if rook takes g3 or f3 and the pawn takes, then I've got queen h2. That would be checkmate, but my opponent's not going to let me off the hook that easily. But I'm curious because the pawn can't take. Could I play rook takes f3? Rook takes f3. If the knight takes. No, maybe it's maybe it's rook h2. I'm threatening queen g2 and I'm threatening h4. h4 with rook takes g2. That actually looks pretty good. I don't really see a way for white to stop this either. I mean, the bishop can come down. These are all true things, I guess. Yeah, what happens if the bishop comes and then queen takes, bishop takes, pawn check? I guess the king could still try to escape over, but no, we just take, right? We just take on g2. Wait a minute. I might be on to something here. What about rook g4 check? Rook g4, the point is, if this king steps back, we just take, we'll checkmate. The rook takes g2. Alright, so the king's not going to step back. Well, the only other move is for the pawn to take. Pawn takes g4. And then h4 is actually checkmate there. What? That's a beautiful. That's a cute move right there. h4. The winner chicken dinner. Awesome. Playing with the white pieces. Down to material. If I push h3, g7, g6, h3. So this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'll queen, and then black queens. So white is queening first, and then I could play a move like... Oh, and then I can play moves like Queen E8 check if King A6 had this beautiful move Queen A8 check, forcing the king back to a light square so that I could play a move like Knight to D6 check, winning the queen on H1. Alright, so obviously maybe our opponent will not play a move like that. So after Queen E8, where else can the king go? The king has 2 squares he can go to. King B4 and King C4. I believe King B4, I could take on D7, I believe. Yeah, I think I would just take on D7. So Queen E8, if King C4. King C4, I wonder if I have maybe Queen A4? I mean, there I'm not entirely sure. Of course I cannot take. Oh, what if I play A6 first and then King takes, and then I could go G6? Oh yeah, if I play A6, the king has to take because I'm threatening A6, H3, A7, H7, A8, and I'm threatening the knight for check. Whereas when I play A6 first, king takes, and then I play G6, black has to go for the queen, and we do actually end up in that same tactic. Because I'll queen first, be able to slide it over here, protect my knight, force the king to a light square where I can check, and then win the queen. That is how we solve some tactics right there. Alright, so we saw the pattern early on, and then we worked our way through until we finally saw that if we simply get the king over to the A6 square, we end up with the same tactic. So, awesome. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you click that subscribe button down below. Click the bell next to it so you get notified when all videos get launched. And thank you so much for watching. This has been day 16 of the 100 Days of Chess Challenge. If you want to join the challenge, make sure you click on the link in the description below about the blog post. That will tell you all about the 100 Days of Chess. And I will see you on the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Later.